Mr. Phigg turned and led Johanna and Harry out of bed quarters and over towards the sheep grazing across the field. As they got closer, they saw that one slightly built sheep was standing apart from the rest, on a small bank of primroses and daisies, staring at the hedge. "There's our boy," said Mr. Phigg, going up to him. "Now then, Barlam, what's all this about?" Barlam continued to study the hedge, as if it was the most fascinating thing he had ever seen. "Don't you start," he said. "I've had about as much telling off as a sheep can take." "I'm not going to tell you off," said Mr. Phigg. "I've brought some friends for you to meet." Barlam focused even more intently on a very average-looking fern. Mr. Phigg nudged Johanna. "Hello, Barlam," said Johanna. I hadn't met any talking sheep before today." Barlam slowly turned his head. "Then you have led a very sheltered life. You should get out more." "That's not very nice. Don't you like meeting new friends?" "How would I know? I haven't got any friends." His words were followed by a little sob, which he tried to disguise as a fit of coughing. Johanna patted him on the back. "But what about all the rest of the flock? Aren't they your friends?" "Oh, they're nice enough, and I've grown up with them around me, but are they really friends? Not what you'd call soulmates. They don't know what I'm going through." "What are you going through?" Harry asked. "I'm wondering whether I'm cut out for this, being one of the crowd, grazing up here every day, then trotting through all those drowsy thoughts every night. No one really looking at me or knowing what I'm thinking, and then treating me like a baby. Oh, Barlam this and oh, Barlam that, and telling me off when I try to be different." Barlam breathed deeply, and Johanna gave him a squeeze. "Oh dear," said Mr. Phigg. "This has been getting to you for a while, hasn't it?" Barlam nodded. "And at your age, you're right. We really should start using your proper name." "My what?" "Your proper name. I don't suppose you would have been registered as Barlam." The young sheep stared at Mr. Phigg. "You were such a sweet-looking baby, and you made such a racket. It was the obvious nickname, and it just stuck." "But what is my proper name? Nobody's ever called me anything else." "I don't know, I'm ashamed to say. I was introduced to you as Barlam, and I never asked. Let's go and look in the register." Mr. Phigg led the children and the sheep back into the bedquarters building. "It's us again, Mabel. Can you get the register out, please? We need to check the lambing records from the spring before last." Mabel reached up to a row of library shelves at the back of the room and pulled down a large ledger. She flicked through its pages. "Here we are," she said to Mr. Phigg. "This is April." Mr. Phigg bent over the register, ran his finger down the page before pointing to a particular entry. Aha! There we have it. "Well, we certainly won't be calling you Barlam any more. This is splendid. What does it say?" "You, my friend, are Bartram Lambchild. I'm very pleased to have your acquaintance, Bartram." "Bartram," said the owner of the name. "Bartram Lambchild." He gave a little skip and marched down the room as if he was trying on a new pair of shoes. "Bartram Lambchild. That's a decent sort of name." "Congratulations, Bartram," said Johanna. "It suits you. Now, come back outside with me. I've got an idea." She led the way back to the place by the hedge where they had met. "You like to look a bit different, don't you? So that people will know it's you." Bartram nodded. "You can't wear sunglasses when you're working anymore, but there are other things that could make you feel different without causing any problems." She bent down and picked a primrose from the bank, then placed it behind Bartram's ear, threading the stem through the tight curls of his wool to secure it. Oh, that's good, said Mr. Phigg. And if someone happens to see it on their way to the land of Nod, then it could just have got there by accident, finished Johanna. What a very stylish sheep, said Mr. Phigg. Bartram trotted across to the water trough and studied his reflection. Yes, he said to himself, not bad. You'll do. Mr. Phigg beckoned to the children and led them back to the door in the hillside. Well done, both of you. You've made a good start, but we should be getting you back home now. He turned the key in the lock. Welcome to the team. Hold on, said Johanna. What does that mean? Team? It's a group of people who work together for a common purpose. Yes, but our purpose is to stop them building that factory farm in the grey world and to keep the shadow flock working safe and undisturbed up here. Does that sound all right to you? Yes, I think so, said Johanna, looking at her brother, who nodded. Yes, it does. Let's shake on it then, said Mr. Phigg, holding out his hand and pumping theirs vigorously in turn. Then he opened the door and looked through before ushering the children inside. All clear, and back in no time, like I told you. The kitchen was exactly as they had left it, with their breakfast plates still on the table. The hands of the clock on the wall had barely moved. Have a good time at the market, said Mr. Phigg. Then pay close attention at the meeting this evening. I'll want to hear all about it.